Meet the Sellers today is a team that's pretty close to us on the west coast of Canada. It's the Vancouver Canucks. They are 1,000% going to be sellers. They've already started, obviously, with Kiefer Sherwood being moved off for a couple of second-round picks. Pretty crazy, by the way. Vancouver, number one odds in the draft lottery right now, according to Tankathon, which is wild.
Which isn't good for them. They never get they haven't got the best odds. Haven't won first for a while, I believe.
Maybe that means it's due, though.
You always go to that side. I disagree.
They have a 25% chance of picking first. If the season were to obviously end today, they'd be guaranteed a top 3 pick in the draft. That means they are sellers. The first player I want to talk about, there is a... we're doing one? See, they're due. Vancouver's due to win. We just did a lotto spin.
What is it? Vancouver, Nashville, St. Louis is the top 3? Yeah. Cool.
So the guys who they are definitely going to sell, number one's Evander Kane. He's going to be retained at 50% and traded somewhere. This is a good time to remind everyone that if the Canucks retain salary on him, they cannot trade him back to Edmonton. Edmonton cannot acquire Evander Kane at retained money this season. Okay, next. Cool. Teddy Blueger is the next name.
Yeah.
He's interesting.
You'll see him at the Olympics. He's playing for Latvia.
You will see him at the Olympics. He's cheap, comes in at just $1.8 million. He's a pending UFA. Apparently, Vancouver has a pretty high price tag on this guy, which is interesting because he's only played 10 games this year. He has 8 points, 5 goals in those 10 games. He can win faceoffs. He can kill penalties. He can do a whole bunch of things like that. He's a nice bottom 6 piece for the Oilers. Would you be interested in Teddy Blueger if the cost was a third-round pick? Or I'd like to see him aim higher, personally.
Again, if he's a second move... I would have interest in Teddy Blueger. I think he can be a useful player. How much would he even play for Edmonton? How much better is he than Lazar? Probably better than Lazar. Not to compare the two directly, but that's the position he's going to take.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a fine addition to the team. Vancouver having a high price, sure. I don't think they're going to get anything of a significant value.
If they think they're getting a second for this guy,
they're foolish. It was like a few
lunch.
years ago when it was like Nick Dowd's getting a first-round pick on the market.
And then
they just didn't trade him.
Yeah, they had to re-sign him.
Yeah. So I doubt he's anything of significance. But his contract is $1.8 million.
So if they were to keep half, that's like a really nice, easy ad for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah. Even down to $1 million.
Yep. Keep a little bit of that money. Helps you with your playoff cap picture, all that stuff.
I believe he plays on the penalty kill.
If you're, and I see Dr. Scruffy, 100% for a third, maybe for a second. If you're moving a second-round pick, you got to aim higher than Teddy Blueger.
Oh, yeah. I'm not spending a second-round pick on Teddy Blueger.
And also, my view would be, like, again, a third-round pick, I can justify moving it for a piece like him, who's going to help in your bottom 6. If you're going to get to the point of spending a second-round pick for a guy like Blueger, can we just spend a first-round pick on someone who's a legitimate top-9 centerman and not like a bottom-6 centerman? And there is a difference there. A top-9 center and a bottom-6 center. Top-9 for me would imply a Boone Jenner, Charlie Coyle, someone along those lines who can legitimately move up your lineup in a pinch and give you more.
Yeah.
Teddy Blueger cannot give you second-line minutes. If there's an injury, if you're in a pinch, if you're doing the McDry thing in a playoff game, you can't trust Teddy Blueger to play on your second line. Teddy Blueger's a bottom 6. I don't spend anything more than a third rounder on bottom 6 guys. Second rounder above, they need to have the ability to move around my lineup more than Blueger would.
To be honest, I would even stretch it to like a 4th-round pick.
I think I would too.
Teddy Blueger, obviously, like I said, only played 10 games this season. Last season, did play all 82 games, averaged just over 2 minutes on the penalty kill for the Canucks. So it must be a good penalty killer.
Yep. Dr. Scruffy says, obviously need more pieces if a second is involved, just pointing out the third is an easy yes. Like something I would maybe consider is like if Vancouver was like, hey, give us your second in 2027 and we'll give you our 4th in 2027. And like then we give you Blueger. And the deal is basically Vancouver's moving up from what would be early 4th to late 2nd. Is basically moving up 1 round, even though the pick's labeled a little bit differently.
Sure.
Something like that, maybe. But again, then we're doing a lot of heavy lifting to get Teddy Blueger on this team.
So here you go. These guys aren't centers, but bottom 6 players that were moved last year. Connor Dewar, 5th-round pick. Mark Jankowski, I think he plays center and wing.
Yeah.
5th-round pick, either way. Cody Glass, I would say, is a bottom 6 player. He was a 3rd-round pick, but obviously a bit younger. Luke Connon was a 4th-round pick.
Luke Cunning's probably a decent comparable because we talked about him last year as a guy the Oilers would have interest in. Blueger's a bit better. So again, a third I think would make sense.
Yeah.
On the blue line, we're seeing a lot of comments about Tyler Myers.
Big.
I think there's a few things to remember here. Full no move. So Tyler Myers would have to agree to uproot his life and his family and come to Edmonton for the final year and a half of his contract. Yeah. He's 36 years old. I have heard some reports and heard some rumblings that he isn't super interested in doing that. I think some teams have made calls to Vancouver about Myers, and that's kind of the reaction that they've gotten is like not totally sold on him being willing to move. Yeah. He might just be okay, and it's a guy who's made a ton of money in his career. His career earnings are over $75 million.
Damn.
He's made a ton of money in his career. I know he's never won, but some guys aren't overly motivated by the idea of going on deep playoff runs. I think Tyler Myers might just be happy and comfortable in Vancouver, might just play out this season next and ride off into the sunset.
Tyler Ennis told us they're neighbors in Kelowna.
Yeah.
Like, he's clearly, like, planted his roots in BC. Makes a lot of money. All I would say is just go pay and get Logan Stanley.
Yeah.
He's a cheap contract.
Younger, off the books at the end of the year if you don't like him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be willing to spend the assets to get Tyler Myers. With that said, I think Tyler Myers could be a useful player for Edmonton. I think he can have that side of him. Yep. He's not overly mean, but like the intimidation of a 6'7", 6'8" player coming at you when you're skating down the boards is frightening for most players.
Mulick had commented earlier the idea of Lucas Reichel again. If he's not good enough to make the Canucks, he's not coming to Edmonton, and he's buried in the minors. Oilers could have had him for free 6 weeks ago. We're not doing the Lucas Reichel thing. I have no interest in that.
Look at how bad this team is.
What do you mean? They have 3 Olympians. 4 if you count Reichel.
True.
Hey.
5 Olympians.
Hronik.
God.
Damn. Well, maybe. Are one of their goalies Olympians too? Is Yuri Patera an Olympian?
Lankinen.
Oh, yeah. Go down.
Would be one, right?
No.
Oh, no. Lankinen.
Oh, yeah, he is. Finnish.
Oh, yeah.
6 Olympians. What do you mean that team's bad? Yeah, the team sucks.
More than the others.
So bad.
Super Wing says Myers is Desharnais with a better hockey IQ.
Sure.
Yes, and he's $3 million with term, would cost you a pretty good asset to acquire, and he'd have to agree to come here. I just don't really see it as all that interesting. Reichel's playing with Draisaitl at the Olympics. Yep, so is Dominic Cahoon, man. Don't think we're overly interested in Dom Cahoon, are we?
You don't want to run that one back?
No, I'm good.
Toby Reader?
Yeah, like...
How many German Olympians can we get?
People were commenting about the Slovakian goalie. They're like, can the Oilers get him? Oh my God, this happened. Like, it's a great story. It can end at that. Not every great performer. Remember Anton Belov? We were all excited for Anton Belov. He stunk. Like, a player having a good Olympics doesn't mean they're going to be a good NHLer. We're not going to be having this conversation every single day on the show where it's like, whoa, this guy on Latvia scored 3 goals. Should the Oilers look at him? We're not doing that shit, guys.
Also, for goalies, that just adds on to the voodoo thing we've talked about with goaltenders, man.
That goalie, what's his name again? Samuel, whatever. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, his numbers don't look great at the World Juniors, but if I remember correctly, he was really solid and played as like a 16-year-old or something like that. They're good for him.
One more thing to touch on, because I kind of forgot about it, and McDoust commented and reminded me. If the Canucks start trading guys with term, I don't have interest in Conor Garland only because he has a 6x6 extension that hasn't even kicked in yet. You're agreeing to take on a big contract for a guy who I would describe as middle 6. He's definitely not a 4th liner. He's a 2nd or 3rd liner. He isn't going to be a play driving top 6 guy for you. I have no interest in paying him $6 million.
It's just a lot.
I struggle with Jake DeBrusk at 5.5 too. As much as I would love the story, he does a lot of his damage on the power play. I don't know if Jake DeBrusk helps you all that much at 5-on-5.
I would agree. I think DeBrusk made his bet a few years ago.
Yeah.
When he didn't sign in Edmonton, he signed in Vancouver. It is very interesting, the amount of players. I'd love to go through and research it a little bit more, but like that passed on Edmonton to like strictly go to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Because there was DeBrusk and Besser are the big 2, I think.
Markstrom passed on Edmonton to sign in
Calgary.
Kuzmenko.
Kuzmenko, another one. It's like, look at them now. Like, who, out of those 4 players, if you were picking today, which 4 would you take? Out of the 4, who would you take on the others?
Out of the 4,
those, like, it was Besser, DeBrusk, Markstrom, and Kuzmenko. Because they either signed Vancouver or
Oh,
Calgary.
Besser.
Or Blake Coleman was another one, if I'm not mistaken. It's very interesting. How much... This is a fun question. How much influence does the mountains have on the Edmonton Oilers' lack of success?
But remember that NHL bubble video said the mountains are in Edmonton. Can't forget about that.
That is funny, though, isn't it? It's like they all pick these Calgary, Vancouver for what feels like, obviously, the on-ice product, but also like life in those cities. And they're both great cities, don't get me wrong, but it is interesting. It is very interesting.
Morgan Barron has 3 more points than DeBrusk at 5-on-5 from Yeg Jacob.
There you
Like,
go.
again, you can spend smarter, I think, than going and bringing on a contract like DeBrusk. The only way I can maybe see it is if Trent Frederick is truly like upset at how this has gone and is like, I don't want to spend 8 years here. I changed my mind.
Yeah.
And you were to swap Frederick for DeBrusk.
I could see something similar, of similar interest, yeah. I wonder about Drew O'Connor, if he can be a buy low asset for Edmonton as well from Vancouver. Guy plays on the penalty kill, provides a bit of speed, knows he's a bottom 6 player. He kind of is exactly what the others have stated, like, we want these guys.
Yeah.
2 years, 1 year left after this one, $2.5 million. 27 years old, labels can play left or right. He's a 12 team, no trade list. Where is he from? He's an American player, but if he's playing in Vancouver, he must love the mountains. He's from New Jersey.
Famously, no mountains there. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.